Intel in trouble. AMD pushes Intel out of the top 10 best-selling CPUs on Amazon. 9800 by 3D tops Newegg charts. There isn't a single Intel CPU that sits among the top 10 best-selling CPUs on Amazon, while AMD is selling 3 generations of CPUs like hotcakes. AMD keeps securing more CPU sales versus Intel, and surprisingly, AM4 CPUs are selling the most on Amazon. 9800 by 3D takes the top spot at Newegg. Is it over for Intel? Not yet, but it does seem like AMD is going to be more dominant in the coming months. Intel had its chance to turn the tables with Arctic Core Ultra 200 inches desktop CPUs, but it failed miserably. This has pushed AMD CPUs even higher on the top-selling CPUs list than ever. While AMD CPUs have been selling quite dominantly for a while, it's for the first time we have seen that no Intel CPU belongs to the top 10 best-selling CPUs on Amazon.com. If I remember correctly, I saw one Intel CPU at the number 9 position a week ago, but that processor has now dropped to number 12. This is the Intel Core i5-13600KF, which is one of the best Raptor Lake chips, but apparently, users prefer AMD's Zen 3, Zen 4, and Zen 5 chips over it. The Core i5-13600KF is now retailing for just $175, but the AMD Ryzen 5 7600X is still outselling it at number 4 on Amazon for a price of $194 at the time of writing. That said, it's not just Intel that is offering generous discounts on the previous CPUs, but AMD is pretty aggressive too. The current best-selling CPU on Amazon is AMD Ryzen 7 5700X, an AM4 platform-compatible CPU with 8 cores and 16 threads, which is selling for just $130. It's followed by the Ryzen 5 5600X for an incredible $105, which is the lowest we have had since its launch. Then we have the AMD Ryzen 7 7800 by 3D at the 3rd position and the latest Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D at the 5th position. On Newegg, it's a bit different story. Even though AMD is still dominating the best-selling CPUs list with Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D being the top seller, followed by some more AMD chips, Intel is still in the game with 4 CPUs in the top 10 most-selling CPUs. In both Amazon and Newegg's best-selling lists, we can see that the Ryzen 9800 by 3D, 7800 by 3D, and 5700 by 3D are common. In some European regions, this gets pretty serious for Intel as it keeps dropping to a historic low week by week. At Mindfactory, a German retailer via a tech Epiphany, AMD stands at a whopping 94.49% CPU share when it comes to selling the most CPUs, while Intel hardly sold 40 units of Arctic CPUs in a whole week. Even in the DIY Korean market, AMD has now secured a good 62% market share for its desktop processors, making huge gains in a single year. Unfortunately, for Intel, this could get worse as no competitor from the blue team can counter AMD's X3D chips, which have proved to be the most successful AMD experiment.